Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Gary and Kenny Show. I'm Gary Kroger in Waterloo, Iowa, and I am joined by
none other than Ben Seisler in Calabasas, California.
I thought you were going to be somebody else.
Aha,
Oh, you fooled me. How are you, Kenny?
I'm pretty sneaky. I'm feeling a little good. I have to be honest with you right now, because the guest we have on is somebody you should not have on unless you're a little medicated. And I am medicated. Okay, I'm a little stoned.
What?
I did an edible.
Oh, you did
in
an
anticipation, edible? In anticipation of our guest, Mark Cohen, who's a comedian who I've known for many years. And I would say that, well, let's bring him on. What do you say, Gary?
Mark, hey, Mark, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hello.
Are you stoned?
Am I awake?
Well, then he's stoned.
There you go. Then he's stoned.
Now, Mark, you consider? Do you go on stage stoned?
Yes.
Do you ever go on stage sober?
No. I did a show called the Rat Pack is Back here in Vegas, and they used to have cigarette. I'd come out with a cart, and there were cigarettes. They were all smoking cigarettes on stage. Mm-hmm. So I took one of those little pipes that you packed with weed, and I put it in there. I would smoke it during the show and blow it on the band.
Were you Joey Bishop?
Sammy Davis.
You were Sammy Davis.
No, I was Joey Bishop.
Hey,
Gary's not stoned. See, that's
I'm not
why
stoned. See, I'm like Mo in this Stooge Fest here. So I think I saw you.
That's hilarious. Where did you see it?
In Las Vegas.
But there was
a few years back.
Was it at the Sahara or the Rio?
Rio.
That was me then, probably. It was either me or Dennis Blair.
Well, you see, I think it was you. But you see, I've always known you, Mark, even though you claim you never met me. I was introducing comics, but let me say this.
Yes, sir.
And you're
yes,
stoned, so I think you'll understand.
Yes, sir.
You're a very handsome man.
Thank you.
But as soon as I saw you, I realized that you were a comedian. You look like a comedian. You look funny. I don't mean funny looking.
No,
you look funny.
I appreciate that. I think that's true. I mean, if I was going to cast a comedian, I would cast someone that looked like me.
Yeah.
Well, I hope. Okay.
Even your voice.
20 years ago, anyway.
I will ask this question since you bring up movies, Mark, because we had this conversation with Kathy Ladman. I never find any of the movies about stand-up comedians funny or good. And I didn't particularly like The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Have you ever seen a movie that really portrayed, that made you laugh when the comedian was on stage in the movie?
Yes.
Which movie?
I happen to be in the movie in a tiny, tiny way, so that's not why I'm saying it though. But it's called Punching the Clown, and it's really.
Right.
Have you seen it or heard of it?
I have not.
Heard of it, because whenever you check out Mark Cohen, it says Punching the Clown and pictures of Punching the Clown. So I was wondering what that was, but it sounded familiar.
There's actually a lot of comedians that you guys would know in it. But it's really, it's funny because I've been in a lot of stuff, but it's a smaller movie, but it's really well made and well crafted.
The problem I always have is they put the comedian up on stage and they're doing this material that's written, and as it doesn't feel as spontaneous as a regular stand-up comedian would be. So I never find myself laughing at the stand-up material that the person or the actor is doing in the scene.
Because it's a movie, though. I mean, it has to service the movie.
Yeah. Well, what about me? What about my needs?
Well, I'll service you during the movie, if that's possible. Do you remember the movie The Comedians?
Of course.
That came out with Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
It came out like the exact same time as that, and they're very, very similar. I mean,
But theirs had Robert De Niro, and yours had Mark Cohen.
But I did Robert De Niro.
Okay.
And speak. It was so funny because I didn't know I was such a known stoner, but when we did Make Me Laugh,
were you stoned?
No, and I actually asked. I could have asked Ken. I don't know who was there. I said, "Listen, I want to get stoned for one episode." So I kind of just know when I see that. Oh, he was stoned, but I ended up not doing it for some reason. I have no idea really why. I was probably young and scared.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Hey, do
I
people
couldn't-
recognize you from Make Me Laugh?
No.
Oh, I was going to say,
No.
because if they did, I bet they come up and they go, "Oh, weren't you on Make Me Laugh? Go ahead and Make Me Laugh," which would really be annoying.
Mark,
They don't air it anywhere.
Mark, this is another. I had this conversation with my 4-year-old. This kind of conversation. we
and
have.
so it's
did I.
perfect for
Would
you.
you describe yourself? Would you describe yourself as wacky, zany,
Goofy?
or goofy?
Wow. If I had to, I would say goofy if I had to.
You're more goofy, huh?
Well,
I think
yeah.
I think in my discussion with my 4-year-old, we decided I'm zany.
Really?
Yes.
What's better? Is there a better according to your 4-year-old?
Okay. Here's in my analysis of it was this: how would you describe the Marx Brothers? Are they silly?
Zany.
Are they
They're
wacky?
zany.
Or they're zany? They're zany, right?
Zany.
Zany.
And
I think
that's
you're a
what-
little wacky.
Who, me?
You're more wacky. No, Kenny's wacky.
I
Oh.
think. Oh,
And maybe that's because I know more about his personal life.
okay. Well,
What about
my grandson thinks that I'm zany, so that's all I'm saying.
I think-
Silly fall into that.
I think you're silly, Mark. I think you're silly.
I think so. I would like to be silly.
Are comics
No,
silly
me
today,
being the
Mark?
sober
let's
one
get
among us,
down
what
to
am
it.
I?
I don't think comics are silly anymore.
Well, there you go. That's a very serious question.
well-
Comics
well,
aren't
they're not-
silly.
They're all business now. They sit
Yeah.
in the green room and they don't talk about jokes. They talk about, hey, if I turn left like this, I'll pick up 20 viewers. If I raise my voice here. And
Well,
you know
let's
what else I don't like?
establish with our audience that what you do, you're an MC at the Cellar,
at the
You're
at the
this comedy cellar.
at the
Yeah.
Comedy Cellar in Las Vegas.
Yes.
So every night,
that is-
are you doing a show? You're doing a showcase of comedians, and you're the
We,
host.
we do at least four comedians plus me a night.
Okay. So now, and you've been in the
And
business
two
how many
shows.
years, Mark? How many years have you been in the business?
Doing
40.
stand up
Yeah.
Yeah.
could probably 84 or 5. I started stand up.
I thought you were
Yes.
84,
You look
85
it.
years.
You look it.
Yeah, you look good.
So now, over time, now you say the green room's a little different, huh? With the comedians there today.
Yeah, and now they all put up their clips of the crowd work. And it's,
right.
and it's gotten so big, the audience knows that people are doing that, so they come in and they yell stuff, and they want to, it's become kind of more interactive, or in a bad way.
Yeah, in a bad way.
Yeah,
So you're
I mean,
in
I-
Vegas now, right?
I'm in Vegas right now, yeah.
You
Can't you
have
tell
a
by the
home and everything?
can't you tell by the beautiful decoration?
I love it. It looks. I can tell because it looks just like the desert.
Well, I've only been
It
here
does.
6 years,
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I
I
tell
live
you
in a-
guys why I don't get stoned? Do you even know this, Kenny?
Did you ever,
Oh.
first of all, before you go on with that?
20 years ago, I went to a party. Dinner
Mhm.
party, couples, we brought our kids. There was a nanny who took care of the kids in a nursery while we had a dinner party, and we're drinking wine, and brownies came out. Now I know already you know where this is going, but no one suspected
How old
that they
were
were
they?
hash brownies.
Oh, those kind of brownies.
Those kind of brownies.
Oh,
And Girl Scouts came out.
yes.
And so and
Now
nobody
that's a
was
story.
thinking that they were just delicious brownies, and I ate a tray myself. And then they
Wow.
came out and said, "Hey, got to let you know these were hash brownies." So then I realized, okay, that's why I'm having such a good time. Then the host had a heart attack.
What do you mean?
Really?
A heart
Literally.
attack. His wife came out and said, "My husband is dying."
And you're stoned?
And I'm stoned, and all that happy stoned energy turned serious and scary and
Oh.
frightened.
Oh.
So then I was dying, and all of my bodily functions I started defecating and pissing
Wait.
on
Wait
their
a second.
throw pillows.
There's
Yeah,
a guy
it
having
went
a
to
heart
that.
attack. There's a guy having a heart attack, and you're now one-upping him by now doing your own death scene.
Whatever instinctual thing kicked in, I just let loose of all my fluids. I
Emphasize
ripped off
stink.
my clothes and ran outside, thinking that someone will see me and take care of me.
Really?
Yeah.
I just would see if I would be the guy on the ground having a heart attack. wanting to get all this
Upstage.
attention, and all of a sudden, Gary, everybody's taking care of Gary.
I didn't make them happy in any way. I took his attention. I peed on their pillows. I think I shit on their bed. I ran outside naked. The police came, shut down the party, and I've never, ever gotten stoned since, I'm afraid.
Really?
So that's the end of my story.
Had you gotten stoned before that with knowingly?
Maybe a little pot, but but never an intense experience like that. It just scares me off of any sort of altered state.
That's not good to do to somebody either,
obviously. Fuck him. I'm glad he had a heart attack.
Now, did he? Mark, I believe you have a daughter, right? Because
yes, I do.
Do you smoke pot with her?
No, she doesn't smoke pot. She could if she wanted to. She's going to be 20 in a couple of weeks.
She'll be 4.
I smoke pot with my son all the time.
He's the 4-year-old?
That's the grandson. The 4-year-old. Listen, I'm not crazy. I'm going to wait till he's bar mitzvah.
It seems Riley does the opposite. My daughter does the opposite of me. She doesn't, she's kind of straight. She doesn't smoke or drink. She doesn't swear. She has sex all the time. No, but she. So it's interesting to see that, but I mean, I don't hide it from her,
No. Is it legal in Nevada?
Yes.
You're not even sure, and you don't care. It doesn't make a difference.
I'm not really sure, but I don't give a shit.
I was trying to think. When I was doing that Rat Pack show, I was living in the Sahara for 2 years, and I would just get stoned all the time. And finally, somebody knocked on my door, and they said, "Are you smoking pot?" And I was like, yes, I've lived there for 2 years, and they said, we're going to call the cops unless you give us, because 20 years ago it was really bad in Vegas. You'd go to jail, for like a seed,
Right.
So things have changed. They made me flush it down the toilet, and.
But now you think it is legal, but you're not sure.
It's definitely legal, but you can't go around smoking everywhere. Just like in LA, you can't. It's legal, but you can't go on the street and smoke in front of a cop.
I think you can.
You can't, because just like you can't drink.
Oh, but if I was walking around with a drink, if I was walking around with a beer in Los Angeles, that would be a problem.
Yeah, yes. You can't have an open container of alcohol.
You can't have an open beer.
Oh, okay.
So I doubt you can smoke a fatty out in the street.
See, you definitely can't.
Okay. Well,
hey, Mark. You've always been a funny guy. Just funny. You're funny naturally. You're just naturally funny. That's why you make such a great host. Has your material changed? I'm looking at old. I'm looking at old stuff. What lights your fire now? I mean, are you in there?
Well, Quayle's an idiot. I'm in kind of in a bind. I'm not really. I do write a lot of jokes, but now it's become, because I'm here every night, 2 shows a night. I look out and I see the same people sometimes 2 times in the audience.
They come back.
Yes, they do, and I feel bad, kind of, because I don't. It's hard to come up with material. So now
maybe they came back because they want to hear the same stuff. Maybe it was so good the first time.
There is some truth to that. I mean, if they hear a couple jokes that are the same, I think,
and they want to hear it again.
Yeah, on some level. But if you come 6 times, you go, okay, this guy's.
So are you ad-libbing largely then? I mean,
I do a lot of crowd work, and I noticed my material has become topical, kind of. The jokes that last for maybe a month. You know what I mean? I'll come up with a joke and it'll work, and I'll repeat that for a month instead of, I'm a one-liner kind of guy anyway. So
yeah.
But they become more like that. So because you can just mention something topical and people will kind of laugh anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, but I want to bring this up. You're in Vegas emceeing. Now, when you're emceeing in Los Angeles, you have a pretty good idea of kind of the nature, the politics of the room. People are generally open-minded. But Las Vegas, you bring in people from every state in the
Iowa. Iowa, it's funny.
Kentucky, Oklahoma, Texas,
and Florida.
Florida. Yeah. And so now you have to really kind of figure out what works, and how liberal or conservative or political, if any, can you get?
For a while, you couldn't say anything, because people would be split right down the middle. But now you can, Now you can, like, I'll do a Trump joke and they'll go, oh, and I'll go, oh, I don't care, fuck, or can I swear?
Right.
And I'll go, oh, forget that. I'll do it. And then I'll just do a Biden joke. And they go, I don't really care. I'm just doing a stupid joke. But you
Have
can
you
get
ever
away
gotten in
with
trouble? Has somebody's just heckled back regarding a political comment?
Yeah, nothing really bad. People are very
Weird.
uptight though, for sure, man. It's not a good time.
I'm going to ask you
Yeah.
this question, if you can think about it. I don't know if it's inappropriate, but I think there are probably jokes that you can't say now, right? That were in your routine.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
can you tell me one of the jokes that you can't say now?
Sometimes I'll do them and I'll say, "Oh, I can't do that one anymore." You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, now you can't say words now.
What do you
It's not
mean
jokes.
like? You
If
can't
you
say words.
if you say abortion or homosexual or anything, people, they don't hear the joke; they just hear
The
The
word.
subject.
Okay, but can
So,
you give
I
me
do a
one
joke now,
example
like,
of a joke that you said, well, I can't do that anymore?
not too many, actually, to tell you the truth. I mean, anything kind of racial, like I used to do. There's a comedian named Cypher Sounds, who's very funny from New York. Whenever I introduce him in Vegas, he can't takes the mic and he goes, Jew, which I think is hilarious. The audience laughs. So then I come on afterwards. Oh, I can't do this joke anymore, but now I can. I go, because they're screaming in the air and Puerto Ricans everywhere. So give me a knife, and stuff like that. But they laugh. So it's anything racial like that, though, or people get upset.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing, do we think?
I think it's a bad thing.
It certainly makes it more challenging.
But it's stupid because they don't hear the joke.
Right.
Right.
They just hear the subject.
I hate abortion, or I love it, whatever your side is on. But they go, oh, shit, abortion. I do it. My latest, I go to Trump. They asked Trump today about the abortion bill, and he said, I paid it.
That's a good joke.
Silly stuff like that,
No, that's good. That definitely walks the tightrope. I don't think you.
That's a good
people can't
joke.
really, not laugh. I mean, they can not laugh, but they can't get mad.
Yeah.
And tell me about I mean, there's so many stand-up comic rooms, right? The Laugh Factories in Vegas.
Yeah, and I guess that's going to be closing, though. They just announced they're tearing down the Tropicana.
Oh, okay. Well, he'll probably move someplace else.
Was that Jamie Masada as well?
Yeah. Yes, that's Jamie Masada.
Yes, I believe so. And we're, we were here for 5 years, supposedly, but we've been here for 6, and they did sell the Rio, so I don't know. Hopefully they'll keep us there, or if they want to stay there, they'll stay there.
How many comedy clubs, though, in the hotels are there? I'm just wondering because you're competing with a pool of stand-up comedians, right? Every night.
Yes, and they're more headliner clubs, meaning that they have one guy doing 40 minutes, and then the MC does 10 minutes, and then
is the Laugh Factory like that?
The Laugh Factory is like that, where we have everybody as a headliner in theory,
yes,
and they are.
Okay.
And I come out and do 10 minutes, and then they all do 15, 16, 17 minutes equally.
So, Mark, how old are you?
I am 28.
28 years old. How's
For
your
the
prostate?
third time.
How's my what?
How's your prostate?
Oh, good.
This is the kind of thing Kenny and I talk about. We've had hernia surgeries,
it's laying
prostate,
down,
bad knees.
I'm 62, actually, believe it.
All right, we're all in the same age milieu.
You know the
it's
last
funny,
chapter.
Yes, the stretch. Look, I'm getting.
No, don't call it that.
We're all getting the light.
Stretch.
We're getting the light.
Well, how's life? How's your health? How's all the machinery? You still having sex? I mean, are you taking pills? I mean,
Wait, just so you know, the policy of this show: all your medical history is kept private.
I'm starting to scare myself into death. I think, I'm going. Oh shoot! Like every time I feel something in it's chest. Oh, that's, you know what I mean. It's so, and I think I'm perpetuating it. Because I don't, you know what I mean? You don't feel.
Yeah, but let me ask you this question, and then maybe it's a little on the serious side, but we'll change that.
Aquarius
is so you are. Do you work for the hotel? Where do you get your health benefits? I guess is my question.
I don't. I mean, I have to. I'm self-employed, even though I'm there. I'm self-employed,
so,
and
like Cobra.
No, just regular.
See, this is why it's amazing. I don't think people, who knew that healthcare was going to be the biggest issue of our entire lifetime? It's amazing.
It's crazy how much it is, too. I mean, it's like $600 or $700 a month, I think. Or something.
Yeah.
Well, wait till you're my age, you can get on Medicare.
Well, how old are you?
I'm 68.
You are not.
Oh, I am. I'm going to turn 69.
You have a birthday that I missed?
July 10th. I'm going to be 69.
I guess you're 2 years. Well, I'm 66.
Which, by the way, is important because the year 69 is the year my father died.
69. All right.
And my father always talked about the year his father died.
How
so this is like
69.
a big thing. But
Can you believe how young 69 sounds?
What's that?
My father was. It sounds so young now. I mean, one time it sounded.
Yeah.
My father was 72, I think.
My father was 72.
So I only got 3 more years. 3 more years.
Who knows? You know.
Yeah. So anyhow, I'm on Medicare is great. You'll get on Medicare. It's fantastic.
Oh, because when you're 65, you mean you get on Medicare?
Yeah.
And it's like you get.
If you live that long, Mark.
I know, man. Lyle Alzado.
Hey, so are there as many Jewish comics as there were back in the day? Because there was a time back in the day where it was like a lot of Mark Cohens and the Kenny Youngmans, and not that you were in his generation, but lot of the Jewish, the Myron Cohens,
seems after the 40s, the Jews dropped off a little bit.
They did.
The Jews dropped off a little bit.
No, who's taking over?
There's not as many as and it's funny because the only cool thing is about sometimes I am 62, and sometimes I'm certainly not the oldest guy on the show. Sometimes there's 2 or 3 comedians older than me, and they're great, and the audience doesn't care. Do you know what I mean? I mean, they're good comics, of course, like Marsha Warfield and Dennis, Dennis Blair and John Joseph. A lot of people that are my age or older, but the audience doesn't necessarily. You don't see anybody going, "Oh, where's an 18-year-old or a 17-year-old?" Yeah,
no, I think it's always material. It's always material. I mean, Dangerfield, when he was later in life, but yet his biggest fans were all the young people.
Yeah, but everybody was later, and all the comedians were 50s.
True.
Back then. There was no 20-year-old. Just because there takes years to get an act. Well, it's the internet. I mean, seriously. I mean, there's people that have millions of views that you've never heard of, and I've never heard of. That I don't know if it translates. It
that's really the question
you can translate, but.
Do you do pop culture kind of thing?
I was just going to ask, are you doing TikTok? Are you getting into all that stuff? Are you promoting yourself with videos, putting them on Facebook Live and yada yada? You care?
No, I don't care. I mean,
because you're working.
I got a steady job, and what am I going to do? I mean, I'm lucky that I got a job, and it's worked out for everybody. But. What am I going to do? I like to think it seems in this business, no one knows who they are. Like I see comedians coming in, I'm going to be the next, Richard Pryor. I said, well, Richard Pryor had a career that he built up before he was Richard Pryor. You can't just become Richard Pryor, You're not, if you're not Richard Pryor now, you're not going to be Richard Pryor.
Are there comics that you're having on that you've never heard of, but they're big TikTok people, and the audience is packed because they're here to see this guy who was on Instagram?
No, but because I think at that level, it's a quick jump between our club and then selling out, a 1,200 seat theater. Do you know what I mean?
Right, I know that, but are you book your comics that have a very, very high profile social media? They're people who know them on social media are coming in to see them at the club.
No,
not.
No, I don't know why. It seems like TikTok is even less than the other ones, even like people with millions of followers, but they're younger or they don't travel.
All I see on TikTok and Instagram are these sound bites of comedians at clubs that I've never heard of.
They're huge, and they make money at it.
I know.
I mean, these people sometimes I think they're joking. I make 30,000.
So they're monetizing TikTok, but they're also getting bookings, right? If you're a popular TikTok comedian, it seems to me like I'm seeing them promoting where they're playing.
It certainly helps, but like in our club, I don't see. There's nobody. Maybe tiny percentage of people showing up.
Well, who's booking your
Yeah.
comics? You? Are you involved in that?
No. Same. The woman that books it from New York.
Okay.
Asked me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had mentioned to my kids, not the 4-year-old, my regular kids and my daughter-in-law, I said, would you rather live in a world that had the internet or didn't have the internet?
Well, they can't answer that question.
Well, yes, they did.
They've never known it.
No, but they know what it is like now.
Well,
And they all across the board said without the internet.
Really?
Because there's so many pressures that they see that because the internet.
But they've never known life.
They would
without
rather,
it.
when they hear stories of us talking about, well, when I went out of the office, there was no phone. So I got to run away for 2 hours.
Right.
I wasn't 24 hours on the thing. It's a lot of stress. And you know,
does suck, yeah.
or know about everybody else and what they're doing. There's a lot of tension and stress if you're a young person dealing
It's
with
like
the internet.
all the violence and the fights and the videos. I mean, I'm assuming that's been going on for 50 years or forever, but there was just nobody filming it.
Yeah, well,
Right.
that's the way we liked it.
But
You know?
So we like to be able to turn our back.
Yeah.
Well, what's weird being our age too. You never knew who somebody voted for or who they wanted to be president or who you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody
Right.
cared, but now it's like you can't even if you're.
Well, that's why I'm saying young people,
Right, and-
young people given the choice, I think, when they hear us talk about the good old days where you
Busy
weren't under the
signals.
constant, scrutiny or criticism or being judged. I mean, that's all. And measuring yourself against what other your friends are doing. We're sending pictures of their parties.
Yes,
When we talk about the fact that, you know what? People did things in privacy. They had privacy. They could do what that kind of thing. They kind of go, I think I would have preferred to live in that world.
Well, I preferred, but I have the experience of living in that world. Here's what I didn't expect this to get so sober, but there was.
I didn't
was
expect
more
me to ever get
patience.
sober.
For example, a president, a Congress could initiate a new policy, new legislation, and we weren't so impatient that we expected the results to affect the economy by the end of the week. Now
Correct.
we're throwing out people, politicians, because the results weren't fast enough.
Well,
They're
because
overcovered.
The dumb people are getting a mouthpiece now too.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right.
That's what it is.
You didn't hear the dumb people back then. It was only
I know.
kind of the people that were doing good or being
Right.
smart. or
That's what
whatever.
Twitter is. I mean, it gives anybody that can type a voice.
Yeah, a voice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it leads to Lauren Boebert.
I don't play the Twitter. I actually, I got thrown off permanently off Twitter, and they won't let me back on. And I think it's funny they put everybody back on.
What'd you do?
Is there a can I say whatever I want here? It's not.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, yeah.
All I wrote was to Lauren Boebert. I wrote, "Show us your dick."
It sounds like I've heard worse on Twitter.
Well,
I think I've said worse, but never so appropriate. I mean, show us your text.
So
Well,
how quickly do they throw you off? Is it like all of a sudden you get a message or something comes on your computer and says,
I guess I said. I mean, I might have sent her that more than once, but
Maybe there's more to the story.
but not really though. I mean, but it is crazy that they just one day it says it's funny. I got an email that said you've been permanently suspended, and then it showed a picture of it. Show us your dick. It said on the screenshot. I was shit. Okay. But then it said, write us and we'll let you back. And I was like, I'll just say, hey,
Yeah, whatever.
I meant to say, show us your bush, or whatever.
But that was old Twitter, because on new Twitter, they're not monitoring such things, are they? Or they're not?
No, I guess not. But why won't
Elon's?
Twitter is just. I mean, I still log on. I can still look, and it's unbelievable how
I don't go on
horrifying
Twitter.
it is.
It's too
horrifying.
confusing.
Yeah.
But Gary, we got our ad got rejected from Facebook, and I can't figure out why. I
Our
have
ad?
no idea. Our ad, it just says watch the Kenny and Gary show. And it so offended somebody at Facebook that we had
Was
the
there music
audacity
Was there
to ask
music
people
or
to watch
something?
our show. Huh?
Was
I
there
got-
music?
No,
or
no, we
No,
have
no, no, no,
public
no. It's just
domain
this.
music.
It's exactly this, Mark. So what we're
Was
doing
it
now.
content or what you wrote about?
It just
Like-
said we violated their standards agreement. But
Oh, so they'd seen your show.
that's
so
what
they
I
watched
said.
the show. Excellent.
Yeah, no.
They watched the show.
That's the
They said
problem.
they know you.
So I'm asking, can we up our standards just a little bit, guys?
Yeah, right. You didn't answer my question, Mark. You didn't answer. How is your prostate?
Wait,
It's,
I want to know. Have you had a colonoscopy? I want to find out some
Oh,
middle-aged
I have-
stuff.
I've
This
had the
interests
balloon-
me.
I've had the balloon in the arm and the
You have?
yeah, but they didn't blow it up. I was kind of mad at them. They went in and looked at the heart, and they didn't.
And they
I
made
said-
balloon animals, but they didn't.
They didn't do anything in there. I was like, "Why? Oh, we want you to come back again in 5 years."
that's because you didn't have good health insurance.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know. I feel pretty good. It is getting to the point though that you hear stuff.
Well,
and feel
do you
stuff.
exercise?
No. If I didn't have a dog, I wouldn't do anything. So every so often I'll walk my dog who's asleep on the couch, but she's 11, so she doesn't.
Yeah,
Yeah. I said to my dog, I took her to the vet and I said, what's the life expectancy of the pit bull? And they said, how old are you? And I said, 62. And he said, oh, don't worry about it.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I've actually just had an eye doctor tell me that because
Really?
because I got what did I get, Gary? It wasn't glaucoma. What's the other? Cataracts.
Cataracts.
I went to the doctor and they said, yeah,
Really?
you have cataracts. And I said, oh my God, I freaked out. And he said, and I was like, well, what do I do? What do I do? He goes, well, how old are you? And I told him I'm
That's
68 year, whatever. And he said, the cataracts move so slow. Don't worry about it. By the time it starts to bother you, you'll be dead. So that's the
Really?
big news.
Do you
And this
know
is
that in 1962 the life expectancy of a man was 66?
No way, really.
I'm
You're
on
dead,
borrowed
Kenny.
time. I'm on borrowed time.
In our lifetime, you're dead in terms
It's
of what life
76 now?
expectancy was.
76. now?
70 for a woman, I think.
Oh, well, what are you
Or-
trying to say?
Kenny should be dead. I'm dying, and you're
I don't
and
feel.
you shouldn't bother putting pictures on your wall.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Well, I got one picture up there.
Hey, Mark,
Yeah, what is that?
is your picture in the lobby at at any of the comedy clubs?
Sure.
Are you at the comedy store?
No. No, yeah. I am. I mean, somebody told me, I don't think it's true, that once you pass at the comedy store, they automatically put your name on the wall.
Once you what?
Once you pass at the comedy store.
Oh,
No,
when you say
people write
pass, you mean got a slot,
A spot.
a spot?
Yeah, you audition for
Right,
whoever
okay.
the winner is at the time. Yeah.
But it means you performed there. You performed. Once you performed there.
Well, you performed in a paid way, I guess, because you could say you
Okay.
performed at the audition,
Okay.
But you feel like, okay, guys, do you feel like your brain, your gray matter is slipping just a little?
Well, Steve, I think that
See, he's good. He's good. You're good, you.
That was
You,
good. He's
you're
good. He's
good.
good. Funny.
You're
He's funny.
good.
I think a little bit, but I actually, I would have think that my stand-up keeps my head better.
Yeah.
My-
Do you
my
take
brain
Prevagen? Does anybody here take Prevagen?
I don't
no,
even know what that is. I've heard of it.
I
I've seen the
forgot what
ad.
that is.
What's
Yeah,
it
you've
for?
seen the ad, right?
Erectile dysfunction?
No, it's a memory dysfunction.
Oh,
That's the same thing, by the way.
yeah, I
Yeah.
knew that, but I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Hey, you forgot to fuck me. You know.
Now you're fucked.
Kenny, we're going to get thrown off Facebook again because
That's
of your
possible.
language.
No, Prevagen is this thing they say is, and I think it's originally made from jellyfish, and it's
Okay.
good for your memory. Yeah, I don't know.
How do you
Jellyfish-
find that out? Is what I want to know.
You
Who
know,
discovers that?
Somebody
I've always
ate-
wanted to know who was the
somebody-
first person to
somebody
eat
said,
a
I don't know.
lobster.
I went to the seafood restaurant yesterday. I had a jellyfish. I can't. I remember. I remember where I put my keys.
Right.
Wow. Yeah. So that's. But the thing about Prevagen is this, because I did buy it. It was $60 a bottle.
Wow.
And it
How much-
says that you have to do, and it's only for a month. $60 a bottle for a month, and it says you have to do this for at least 6 months before.
Oh wow.
You start to see the results.
You know what?
So I guess they're banking on
I'm
every
gonna
month.
bottle horse
I
manure
think they're
and
banking
sell
on
it.
every month. They're hoping you're going to forget how much it costs.
Exactly.
You know,
You're not going to be.
Yeah,
that's a scam. That's a
yeah.
scam.
No, it's been
Did
running
you-
on television. I don't know.
Did you
Oh,
do
it was
it?
on TV. It has
You
to be
didn't
true.
do it then.
No, I did it for the
buy
1 month,
Oh,
and I kept
so-
saying for $60, I don't. This is ridiculous. I'm not going to do $60 a month. And by
Oh.
by the way, I would forget to buy it every month anyhow. So what's the point?
Hey, Mark, got to do the. You're doing your gig now. What's next, et cetera, et cetera. You know, are you going to put pictures on the wall? Is Rio going to sell?
I'm doing the show for as long as they'll have me, and I'm really my goal in life is to outlast you two guys.
Well,
Oh, well,
by
you know
law of
what?
averages, you will.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever get to Vegas?
I will
haven't been
now.
there
I
in
mean, I have.
years.
I saw you in Vegas a few years
That's
back.
true. That must have been a long time.
How
I
is
don't
it
live-
changed since you've been there?
Me? Oh yeah. I mean, you used to buy breakfast for everything closes now.
Yeah,
Everything's
Yeah.
closed at 10
Yeah.
o'clock. You can't
Really?
get food anywhere. Yeah.
10 o'clock. Huh?
Yeah.
Is Vegas doing
Yeah.
well economically now, or how is Vegas doing?
I think so. And there's so many sports teams now. That
Oh,
sounds like
yeah.
I'm doing a bit. And there's so many sports
And there's
teams,
so many.
ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what I'm going to do. I was looking up. Oh my God, there's so many sports teams. I can't find cocaine anymore. There's a lot of people playing.
He really does become Mark Cohen, doesn't he? You really live your persona.
Well, I'm actually
Wow.
going to
And this is you on stage too.
That's right.
You don't
I'm changing my
change
name.
that much, Mark.
I want to be less Jewish, so I'm changing my name to Mark Owen.
Mm. Well, when I looked you up, did he freeze? Or did everybody freeze?
Mark
It's
C. Owen.
kinda
Oh, okay, all right.
You
I
froze.
lost everybody
No,
else for a second.
I actually thought you passed out. He said he froze.
Thought you
10
had an
minutes ago.
aneurysm. Yeah. Wow.
Happened again.
That would be a show. That would be a
I
show.
used to date her. Aneurysm. Come on, lady.
Aneurysm. Yeah. Well, no, I was with you. I just thought a smile was all it deserved.
That is actually I'm more afraid of that than if you really want to talk about than heart. I'd rather have a heart attack, I think, than a
And what? Wait,
Stroke.
You can't see
Then a
you guys
stroke.
all strokes. Yeah. I don't know.
This is what
And,
we talked
and all
about.
these things that I heard about as a kid growing up that people would have, now I know what they were. Like you're a kid 16 and say, "Oh, he had a stroke." It's like, oh, what's the difference between a stroke and a heart attack, or whatever.
Yeah,
the
no,
people.
yeah.
And now you go,
Yeah,
oh, this is what.
Yeah, but those are exactly the questions that I now Google when I'm going to bed at night, just so that I'm
Yeah.
prepared. The other night, I went to bed because I'm alone in the house. My wife's in Chicago. My son was with his girlfriend. And I thought, I'm 66. What if I have a heart attack? What
Yeah.
if I have a heart attack?
I have
So
a story.
what do I do? So I Googled like little things that you do, like do you force a cough, Because one site said force a cough. It sort of jumpstarts your heart. So I thought,
Really?
great. But then another side said that's absolutely a wife's.
Well, it's Dr. Google. You're not supposed to do that. But this reminds me of a story. Anybody got another 20 minutes?
Give
I'll tell
us
you
the
the
story,
story quickly. True
Only
story.
the Lord knows.
True story.
He's
When I was
quick.
doing comic strip, are you with me? I was
Yes, sir.
doing comic strip live. Okay. And I just heard about somebody who just had, what is it when your intestine blows up?
Your testicle?
Testicle blows up.
No, not your intestines.
Oh, your intestines.
Oh,
There's a
appendectomy.
name?
Oh,
Oh,
their
okay.
appendix.
Appendectomy. Yeah,
No,
appendicitis.
They had appendicitis. And they described the pain to me, or whatever. Anyhow, a couple days later, I'm driving home and I'm having unbelievable pain in my side. And then I go to sleep and I'm complaining to my wife and I'm going, I can't take this anymore. And she's like, what? It's like 4:00 in the morning. She said, I have this incredible pain. You have to take me to the doctor. And she took me down to the emergency room and said, well, sir, we're going to run a lot of tests. We're going to run a lot of tests. We're going to run. So they ran a lot of tests. And then the worst thing they could possibly come in and tell me happened. After all the tests and all this stuff, they walk in and they go, well, the best we can figure is we think you have gas.
That's what I was thinking.
My wife, my wife, there's no chance of my wife ever taking me to the hospital.
yeah, honey, you have gas.
They should have said
go to the bathroom, fart.
Yeah.
They could have said you were full of shit, though.
That's right. That's right. Which is exactly what my wife. That's how she heard the diagnosis as well.
Well, yeah. I had heart pain, but it was just heartburn. But again, at this age, I worry about things like that, and I'm going, okay, shouldn't I feel this in my left arm?
Do you feel chest? Do you ever feel pressure like here? Sometimes.
Yes, I have.
Really?
Smoking,
I never have.
I have.
No, you're gonna die soon.
Welcome to the Hypochondriac podcast.
You know, this podcast makes me sick.
Yeah. Hey, but I do want to just go back and go back to the joke writing process. Okay. Do you ever, I know you don't do it often, but when you would be looking to do your material, would you like be on the lookout for any kind of thing out there you're going, oh, I could make a joke, or a TV show or something like that? Okay.
I write down jokes all the time, and they're in my phone in like a database, but it's remembering them and looking. I don't, you know what I mean? Yeah. I have hundreds of jokes that I've never done, probably. But then some of them are probably pretty good.
But you say
if I look at them, yeah, they're in a database. Yeah.
I bet, Mark. I mean, that'd be a funny app. When you're dead, when you're gone, I think we should publish the unpublished jokes of Mark Cohen.
Oh, I hope.
Yeah, but we're gone before he is.
Oh,
well, okay. Yeah.
Well, then we'll have to bring on somebody younger to handle.
I think you should do a one-man show as Mandy Patinkin.
Why?
Oh, my daughter's favorite. Yeah, I get that a lot. I'm an old Judd Hirsch.
I'm going to flatter you. I think you're a young Judd Hirsch.
Yeah,
but I get the Hirshishness.
Mandy Patinkin, yeah. Mandy Pantikin.
Yeah. Well, you look like him now completely because he goes with the grizzled thing. This is your look now, right, Mark? A little bit grizzled. You used to be much more clean shaven, before.
Yeah, I'll probably shave. I was off yesterday. I didn't work yesterday, so.
I like it.
Yeah, it's it's hard. I always thought it was hard to make people laugh with facial hair. Now I don't think so as much, but I used to always think so. It was always made me look meaner or something like that. Like you look really mean, Gary.
I look what?
Mean.
Yeah, well, there's facial hair.
I look mean. Yeah. Well, I have a confession to make. I have more gray hair than this. I used a henna shampoo the other day.
I use that. Yeah.
But it made it. I look like George Maharis doing dinner theater now. I mean, it's just a little too dark, don't you think? It just doesn't
George
quite
Maharis
match.
reference was too dark.
Yeah, you won't hear that every day. But that just sort of shoe polish black to meet your fans at the stage door. It's too much.
I do a shampoo sometimes, but it's like it takes. You'd have to do it a lot. It's not like it is a dye, obviously, but
I love that he does the mime of shampoo while he's telling the story. You are seamless, sir.
Yeah. Sometimes I leave a message for my friend on his answering machine, and I do a bit all the time, like I'm pretending I'm talking to his girlfriend or something. And as I'm driving, I always realize I'm actually looking to the imaginary girlfriend. Oh, really? That's what you're doing? It's like, what am I doing?
You're seamless because you on stage and you at dinner, it seems like the same person.
Yes, I would think it is. Yeah. Yes, heightened, I guess, but
yes,
you'd
be fun to have dinner with.
That's the other thing is the comedians nowadays. I used to remember, or I think it's okay to just be funny as a comedian, but now everybody has to tell the story about how they were touched, and it's like just tell some jokes. You don't have to.
That's what I like. I mean, that was the thing. Are there who can you think of as a new comic? I think there is one that I've seen. I think he's from Scotland or someplace like that, and he does just jokes. But other than that, I can't think of many comics who don't tell stories about what's going on in their life.
Well, but I do like
feel they have to, which is there's a valid. Yeah. I'm not
absolutely, and if it's funny, it's funny.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I like both. I mean, I love Jim Jeffries now. I love what he's. I've always enjoyed Louis C.K.
Right, but there were more of a particular type of comic in the old days that were the joke tellers, and maybe it had something to do with that was how they were. That was they expected when they played the clubs or Catskills.
Well, it's so funny. I've done the same style for whatever 30 years, however long it is, and there was a while in the 20 years ago when people were like, "Oh my God, you're making fun of the craft. They're turning it on its ass by doing the old style juggling." No, I'm just, there's
what I do.
There's comedians out there that get like credit. Oh my God, you're man. No, they're just doing what they do, and it caught up with them where it went past them,
Yeah.
Time,
Hey, as a non-stand-up, I always found, how much material could you do if you had to fill 2 hours? Could you do it?
Of material, probably. I mean, I could if I would remember it, but no. And the funny
would you have enough pot? Would you have enough pot to get you through the entire 2 hours? Would you need to?
I think so.
But how much entertainment material walks around with Mark Cohen?
Wow.
I mean, I could do. Well, I think anything over an hour is too long from anybody. I don't care who they are. I mean, I know people do an hour and a half, I'm so used to doing 8 to 10 minutes now. When I go to the Cellar in New York to do a set, I'll do like 8 minutes. I'm supposed to do 20, and I'll go, all right, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
I have the material. My clock is 10 minutes now, so it's strange, So I used to be able to do an hour easily, but now I would probably struggle because of that. Even though I have the material, it would struggle to string it all together in groupings or whatever. I'd go, oh, I forgot that. And I'd have to, right now I'll do a joke in between the act. Yeah. That's part of a hunk or something. But so I don't do, you know what I mean? I could probably.
Well, we were just going to do 20 minutes with you. And guess what? We're at 50 now. We're at 50. You've almost done an hour with us.
I'm going to cut Mark out. I'll get it down to 20 minutes.
and we'll just talk about our prostates.
I actually have a doctor's appointment. I'm going to the dentist today. Ask me what time.
What time do you go to the dentist?
2:30.
Yeah, people don't do that anymore, but there's a good reason, Mark.
There's a reason for that.
Well, it's not my regular dentist. It's another guy filling in. Come on, I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer to the.
And he even does the cross eyes.
Hello
there. Filling in.
This is great. Where are the young comics today who are doing that?
We're going to let you go back to your life because we've filled our show quota.
I'm actually wearing a diaper, so I could have talked for a while longer, but that's excellent.
Oh.
And
it's funny that you say. Can I tell you a secret, guys? Because that's what we do on this show. My wife and I flew to Scotland. You know this, Kenny. Yeah. We flew to Scotland, and I was so terrified of a 7.5-hour flight that I put on a diaper. I put on an incontinent diaper.
You shouldn't tell this on air. Come on, Gary. I know you want to be an honest, bro. I know you want to be transparent. It doesn't need to be so transparent. We can see
that's just between you guys. But Kenny, you'll cut this out, right?
Yeah, Gary. I got to go now. I guess.
I don't.
And I thought
it seemed interesting to me.
It really.
All right, enough of that.
A pleasure talking to you.
Hey, Mark. So if I come to Vegas, do I get any perk or something like that? Since I know you.
Yeah.
I'll get you a Shirley Temple.
And how old will she be?
And we'll get stoned during the show, just so I can prove it.
Well, that's what Kenny does. He likes to go to. All right. Yeah. Hey,
no, that would be great to see you, Mark.
I don't get there much, but I'll certainly see you if we go. My wife and I would like to go to the West.
Please,
we want to go see Kenny.
Do you remember Andrew Golder, Kenny?
Yeah, of course he did make me laugh. Yeah, what about him?
He directs Penn and Teller's show at the Rio, so I've seen him a few times.
Oh wow, that's interesting that he did that. Huh.
Yeah, I did. I actually did warm up for that show for a little bit. But
yeah, you also did warm up for the Chelsea Handler show that I did.
I did. She
Yeah.
was very nice too. I had a good
Yeah,
time.
she
on
was.
that.
She was fine. After the show, though, when you went back to her dressing room, she was usually in there with what was her boyfriend, Ted Salados or whatever, who was the head of the channel. She was having.
Oh, she was married, I thought, to him.
She might have ended up marrying
Oh.
Ted Sarandos. She was there, like head of ABC or something, or whatever.
Oh.
And I would go back there, and she would literally, and nothing bad about her. She was great. I love her. But she was. They were back there with a full bottle of vodka, just having a great time. I mean, she doesn't do that anmore.
She was very open about it at the time.
Yeah, she was very open about it. That's right.
I was amazed, but yeah, she was drinking, but she was professional. Good job.
Mm-hmm.
Could you guys turn this into something about incontinence, just to kind of get me off the hook? I mean, that way, it's a story joke.
Hey, will you show us your diaper before I leave? And I'm not leaving.
I'd have to get.
Please,
I could.
please.
All right. I'm watching the. All right, that's enough.
Do you want me
more.
to? Ready?
Wait a second. Just say one more thing. Do a little business here. Mark, I want you now that you've done this show to post this on all your accounts, your Twitter account, your Facebook account, all your social media, because that's
all those accounts that you don't use.
For people to
don't bother with Twitter.
Actually, we have one. I do post it, like there's one from the Comedy Cellar, and I have one that I definitely will post a link to it.
Oh, you know what you should do? Oh, you have a show tonight?
Yes, 7 and 9:30. 2 shows.
You say, hey, boy, am I tired? I just got off the podcast with Gary and Kenny.
Shoot, I got to get a pen.
Prevnagen. Is that what it's called? Prevnagen. All right. Prevnagen. All right.
Thanks again, Mark.
All right, Robert and John. Keep your memory solid. I'll see you guys.
I really enjoyed that. I swear that I've met him before, though. I mean, I certainly knew his work, but I think that I've had in-person contact back in the old Comic Strip Live days.
Maybe it's just stuff. Maybe you're just dreaming all of this, and
maybe this is all.
It's a fantasy. Yeah.
All right. Well, join my dream and fantasy on the next Gary and Kenny show, as we are on all the popular podcast platforms. We are on DBNA.
We got to get on the unpopular ones. We might have better luck.
We might as well get on those as well, and as well as our own YouTube channel. We'd love it if you'd go there, give us a like, give us a thumbs up on there, and well, that's it. So, Kenny, until next time.
Until next time, Gary, always a pleasure, a lot of fun. And,
and I'll try to figure out this weird light thing. You know what it might be? Maybe it's my dyed hair, and the camera is just trying to figure out, wait, this guy's gray. Why? It's trying to adjust.
Gary, I love you, but all you've done so far is just take away all the glamour. It's like you're talking about.
Mentioned it.
You shouldn't. The black hair, your hair, and the diaper. It's just like I love you. But
maybe
you don't
not,
have to.
Maybe
you,
not
you,
all
you don't
the
want
ways
people
I'm trying.
You're trying to be so honest.
So I should keep some things a secret.
Yeah, like some things are none of anybody's business.
I didn't. This was important. I didn't use the diaper. It was just that I was frightened.
No, did you ever put it on?
Oh my God!
But did you put it on?
Yeah, I put it on.
Oh well, that itself is something we should.
Because I was so frightened because I've had experiences where I have to pee so badly and I can't till you reach 36,000 feet, and I was terrified, but I didn't use it. That's the important thing. And I just thought my hair looked a little obvious after this henna.
So basically, what you're saying, wearing the diaper and not using it was an accomplishment.
It was an accomplishment. So I'm not as old as I was afraid I might be.
I see. Okay, well, congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you. And I think that I actually look better with a little more of the natural salt and pepper.
You may, but you don't walk into a party and go, hey, how does everybody like my dyed hair?
Well, it's just that I'm watching myself on camera and I go, what looks so strange here? And it's like, no, it's just.
Well, this flashing light, I think, is an alien. I keep getting the idea that strobing.
It's a desperate attempt to try to shave off years. That's what this is.
What?
It's a desperate attempt. The henna and everything. It's a desperate attempt to shave off years.
Oh, yeah. You know.
And I want to come clean.
I actually, I don't do anything.
I can tell, but you look good.
I don't look
good.
But
this is just to give people a reason to tune in. Because on the next show, I'm going to be back to my natural self. And then they can guess whether or not I'm sitting here with a diaper.
I think leaving a little mystery is a good idea, Gary.
All right, that's what we'll do. So until that mystery is uncovered, Kenny, I
This
bid
is
you
now
adieu.
Goodbye.
I'm saying goodbye. So long, everyone. Thanks
Bye,
for
everybody.
watching, listening, or both.